My cousin Sophia stood center stage under a spotlight, a flute of vintage Dom Perignon in her manicured hand, her silk gown catching every flicker like she was born to wear the limelight. Her latest collection, bold abstract that critics call provocative and visionary, had just sold out before the opening even officially began. She laughed at something a donor said, head thrown back, eyes sparkling with the kind of triumph that comes from knowing you won before the game even ends. She didn't see me standing in the shadowed alcove at the back, half hidden behind a towering sculpture. She didn't know the storm had already arrived, quiet and inevitable, like thunder rolling miles away before the sky cracks open. This is my story. A slow-burning tale of family facades built on lies, greed that festered for years like rotten hidden beams, and a revenge that didn't explode. It crept in, patient and precise, until everything they valued crumbled from the inside out. If you've ever trusted someone with your heart, only to feel it turn to ice when the mask finally slipped, stay with me. What happened to me will make you pause the next time a relative offers a warm hug or a sympathetic ear. My name is Nathan. It began when I was 8, in the winter of 2004. A house fire, faulty wiring, they said, took my parents in one night. My father, a real estate developer who built half the upscale neighborhoods in our mid-sized city, and my mother, a high school English teacher who read to me every evening until I fell asleep. They left behind a sealed irrevocable trust fund, $10 million, invested conservatively in bonds and index funds, untouchable until I turned 25. The will named no guardians. With no close relatives, the court appointed my father's sister, Aunt Beatrice, and her husband, Uncle Harold, as my legal guardians. They lived in a quiet, tree-lined suburb, manicured lawns, white picket fences, the American dream on display. The first day I arrived, suitcase in hand, eyes red from crying, Aunt Beatrice pulled me into a hug that smelled of lavender and starch. Nathan, sweetie, you're home now. We'll take such good care of you. Uncle Harold, broad supporter with a thick mustache and the steady voice of someone used to balancing books, ruffled my hair. Plenty of room here, kid. You'll fit right in. They enrolled me in the local school, bought me clothes that actually fit, and hosted a welcome dinner. Homemade lasagna, garlic bread, chocolate cake. Sophia, their daughter, 2 years older, handed me her favorite red toy truck with a shy smile. You can keep it as long as you want, she whispered. For a boy who'd lost everything, it felt like salvation, but small things nagged even then. Aunt Beatrice's smile would tighten when I'd accidentally knock over glass. Nathan, do you know how much crystal costs? Before she'd catch herself, force a softer tone and say, it's okay, accidents happen. Uncle Harold's study door would slam if my video game got too loud, followed by a grumbled, keep it down. Then he'd appear at the candy bar, muttering, didn't mean to snap, buddy. I told myself it was stress. Adults had rough days. We had family movie nights on the big sectional couch, backyard barbecues where Sophia and I chased fireflies while the grown-ups sipped wine and laughed. Sophia and I grew close, secretly, because her parents always said we should give each other space. We'd sneak to the basement after lights out, building blanket forts with flashlights, sharing dreams. She'd sketch furiously, saying, one day, my paintings will hang in museums. I'd talk about following in Dad's footsteps, designing homes that felt safe. She'd squeeze my hand. We'll do it together, Nathan. You're the brother I never had. Those nights stitched my broken heart back together. High school brought subtle shifts. At 16, I started noticing the double standards. Sophia got private art lessons, trips to New York galleries, top-of-the-line supplies. I got lectures from Uncle Harold about pulling my weight, so I took a part-time job at a hardware store stacking lumber and mixing paint. Builds character, he'd say, clapping me on the back a little too hard. Aunt Beatrice would sigh when I asked for new sneakers. We can't spoil you like we do Sophia. It wouldn't be fair. Yet on my birthday, they'd surprise me with a cake and a card signed love, Aunt B and Uncle H. Sophia and I kept our bond hidden. Late-night texts, walks in the park after school. She'd vent about her parents' pressure to be exceptional. I'd share the quiet ache of missing my mom and dad. "They're hard on you because they care," she'd say, hugging me so tight I believed her. The first rail crack appeared at 18. I enrolled in community college, kept working, saved every penny. Sophia headed to a prestigious art school, tuition fully covered. One evening, I overheard Aunt Beatrice on the phone. "Yes, the trust covers his expenses, but we have to be careful. Court oversight and all." I brushed it off. Then, at 23, the storm clouds gathered. It was a rainy Thursday. I came home early from work, hungry, creeping to the kitchen for leftovers. Voices drifted from the half-open door. Aunt Beatrice and Uncle Harold, unguarded, bitter. I'm exhausted pretending. Harold, feeding him, smiling through it. It's draining. We only took him in for the money. Harold's grunt was low, venomous. Damn right, the kid's a drain. Once he turns 25, that $10 million hits. But if we get guardianship extended, petition the court claiming he's unfit, to traumatized from the fire, maybe some fabricated psych evals, we keep control. Institutionalize him if needed. The funds stay in play for his care. Sophia's our blood. She'll inherit everything eventually. Beatrice laughed, cold as glass. We've built the paper trail. Doctor notes, school reports hinting at instability. No more charade. My blood froze. I backed away, heart hammering. Then a soft gasp. Sophia on the other side of the doorway, eyes wide, hand over her mouth. She motioned frantically. Silence. We slipped to the basement. She hugged me, shaking. "Nathan, I'm horrified. I'll help you fight this. We're in it together." For months, we plotted in whispers. She'd snoop for documents, feed me intel. I researched quietly, hired a discreet estate lawyer on contingency. She showed me stolen files on her old tablet during our secret meetups. I backed them up remotely. Simple remote access app I'd installed just in case. Hidden in a system folder. She never noticed. At 24, things escalated. My lawyer found suspicious transfers, small at first, then larger, siphoned from trust interest accounts. We filed to challenge guardianship, freeze assets. Aunt Beatrice and Uncle Harold turned vicious openly. "Ungrateful brat." Harold snarled one night, shoving me toward the door. "Pack and go, we're done acting." Sophia comforted me. "We'll win this." But her eyes darted away. Text slowed. Doubts gnawed. The final betrayal exploded in the living room. Harold slammed forged papers on the table. "You stole from our safe," claiming I tried to access funds early. My lawyer countered with evidence, but Sophia stepped forward, voice calm, smile sharp. "Actually, Nathan, it's over." She confessed everything. She'd known for years. Help her find the plan. The secret closeness? A way to monitor me. Sabotage quietly. Anonymous tips to ruin job interviews. Delayed messages to my lawyer. Even planting doubts. "You're not family," she said, eyes gleaming. "You're in the way of my future." The court sided with them. Her testimony sealed it. Eviction notice arrived. I left for a cheap motel, shattered, whispering to empty walls. Why her? In that dark room, rage turned to focus. I accessed the tablet backup. It held gold. Full recordings of kitchen talks, audio from Mike Access, emails detailing fraud, Harold laundering money through the trust for shady clients, real estate deals tied to organized cash flows, tax evasion on massive scale, falsified reports to the IRS. Using a minor's trust as a front violated federal laws, money laundering, tax fraud, breach of fiduciary duty. Penalties could mean years in prison, full restitution. I moved carefully. Anonymous tips to IRS auditors first. Harold's clients vanished overnight. Beatrice's boutique flooded with bad reviews from Planet accounts. Sophia's career stalled. Galleries dropped her after anonymous concerns about plagiarized sketches. They blamed bad luck, paranoia growing. The climax built slowly, like a fuse burning unseen. Sophia's biggest show. Opening night, elite crowd, media buzzing. She toasted success radiant. Then screens flickered. Hacked feed from the tablet archives. Audio played. Their voices plotting my ruin. Sophia's laugh calling me the parasite. Bank trails flashed, laundered funds, tax dodges. Gasps rippled. Phones recorded. FBI agents moved in, badges out, cuffs ready. Harold roared denials. Thrashing as agents restrained him. This is a setup. Beatrice collapsed, wailing, mascara streaking. Sophia froze, champagne flute slipping, shattering on marble. Her face drained of color, eyes locking on me in the crowd. Nathan, how? Her voice cracked, small and broken for the first time. The fallout was merciless but methodical. Harold, 15 years for fraud and laundering. Beatrice, 10 years. Sophia, deemed the architect, 8 years. The trust, tainted but legally mine, was restored via court-ordered restitution. Their assets seized. House investments, Sophia's gallery proceeds. I reclaimed the full $10 million, plus interest, damages, enough to rebuild. Now, at 30, I run a real estate firm specializing in restoring homes for foster kids. Safe places, no hidden rot. My penthouse overlooks the city at dawn, quiet and mine. Scars linger, but they've hardened into resolve. I wake grateful, heart steady. The years that followed the trial have been a slow, quiet reconstruction of a soul I thought was permanently shattered. Sometimes, in the middle of a meeting or while walking through a house I'm renovating, I'll catch the faint scent of lavender or the sound of a distant, sharp laugh. And for a split second, I'm that 8-year-old boy again, desperate for a hug. But then I look at my hands, callous from work, steady with purpose, and I remember I am no longer the victim of their story. I feel a strange, hollow peace now. It isn't the explosive joy I imagined when I first planned my revenge. It's more like the stillness after a massive fever breaks. I don't hate them anymore. Hate requires an energy I'd rather spend on the kids who live in the homes I build. But I don't forgive them either. Some things are simply unforgivable. The future stretches out before me, no longer a dark alley but a wide-open road. Every morning, as the sun hits the glass of my office, I think of my parents. I think of the safety they wanted for me, and I know that I've finally built it myself. The facade is gone, and what's left is real. What betrayal have you faced? Share below. I read every one. Also, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop your city or country in the comments so I can see how far the story has traveled. Subscribe for more stories of quiet revenge and hard-won peace. The truth always finds its way out.